Welcome to Noma Nights.
The morning sun rose gently over the busy harbor town. Wooden ships rocked softly on the water, and merchants called out as they prepared for the day. Thomas stood outside a small trading house, adjusting his simple coat. Today felt different. Inside, his employer handed him a ledger. "You will travel with the caravan," the merchant said calmly. "Watch carefully. Learn." Thomas nodded, his heart steady but curious. At the edge of town, a wooden cart waited beside the road. William, the cart driver, checked the wheels carefully. "Timing matters," William said. "If we delay, we lose the light." Nearby stood Edward, reviewing papers, and Henry, quietly observing everything. Another young man approached. "I'm Lucas," he said with a small smile. Thomas smiled back. Thomas. The journey began under clear daylight. The road stretched ahead, wide and dusty, surrounded by open fields. William guided the cart steadily. Edward spoke about trade routes and prices. Lucas listened closely. Thomas opened the ledger, trying to follow every detail. After some time, the road split into two paths. Edward pointed left. "This way is faster." William frowned slightly. "The ground is rough there." A quiet pause followed. Thomas listened carefully, noticing both sides. They chose the left path. At first the road seemed fine, but soon the cart shook over uneven ground. One wheel made a sharp sound. William stopped immediately. "We check now, not later." Henry knelt to inspect the wheel. Thomas watched closely, learning without speaking. Problem was small, a loose wooden pin. Henry fixed it calmly. Lucas handed him a tool. Edward checked the goods again. Thomas looked at the ledger, then at the crates. Something didn't feel right. As they continued, the sun moved slowly across the sky. Thomas reviewed the numbers again. One entry seemed different. He stayed quiet, unsure, but attentive. The fields around them glowed softly as the afternoon light grew warmer. They reached a gentle hill as the light began to soften toward late afternoon. From the top, the road ahead stretched toward their destination. Thomas looked at the ledger once more, then at the crates. This time he was certain something was wrong, but the sun was moving closer to the horizon, and time was no longer slow. The late afternoon sun stretched long shadows across the road. The cart moved steadily, but Thomas could no longer ignore the feeling in his mind. He looked again at the ledger, then at the marked crates. He took a quiet breath. "I think there is a mistake," Thomas said carefully. The others turned to him. Edward stepped closer. "What kind of mistake?" Thomas pointed at the page. "These numbers don't match the marks on the crates." Lucas leaned in. "He's right. This crate should be listed differently." William slowed the cart slightly. The air felt focused, but calm. They stopped beside the road. Henry opened one of the crates carefully. Inside, the goods were not what the record described. Edward's expression changed, not anger, but concern. "This could cost us dearly if we deliver it wrong," Edward said quietly. The sun lowered further. "We don't have much time," William said. "If we delay too long, we arrive late." Edward looked at Thomas. "What do you suggest?" Thomas paused, thinking carefully. "We correct the record now," Thomas said, "before we continue." They worked together quickly. Lucas helped rewrite the correct entries. Henry checked each crate one by one. Edward confirmed every detail. William prepared to move again. Thomas stayed focused, calm, and precise. The sun moved closer to the horizon, painting the sky in soft orange tones. They resumed the journey. This time everything was clear and certain. Edward looked at Thomas. "You noticed what others missed." Thomas simply nodded. They reached the destination just as the sun touched the horizon. The town ahead was calm, bathed in golden light. The delivery was checked, and everything was correct. No confusion, no loss, only quiet success. As the day ended, Edward turned to Thomas. "You did not rush. You observed. You spoke at the right moment," he said. Thomas looked at the fading light. He understood something simple, yet important. Careful attention and calm action can change the outcome of an entire journey. The sky remained warm, and the road behind them felt meaningful.